CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you can spend some time with us on this Wednesday. Greater Sudbury police are looking for 3 people believed to have been involved with a pair of stabbings in the city's downtown. Officers were called to Elm and Durham Streets Monday night, where they found a 41-year-old with multiple stab wounds. His assailants had fled the scene, and the 41-year-old was taken to hospital, where he remains in critical condition. An hour later, police were called to the Energy Court area, where a 23-year-old had also suffered multiple stab wounds. Shortly after, police located and arrested a 17-year-old they believe was responsible for the attack on Elm Street. The 2 stabbings are believed to be separate incidents, and police say the victims were known to their attackers. It seems like a much cooler day out there, but I, for one, am still waiting for the rain. When is the precipitation coming? For more details, let's go to CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Well, Tony, according to my chiropractor, Mark LaRochelle, it happened on Lake Wanapitei. He lives in Skeed, and he said, quite the deluge last night. How was it in Wanapitei? Sorry, we had a bit of a sprinkle. Your systems map, Tony, brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at getcaa.ca. We've got some precipitation moving in by Saturday. Looks like Saturday will get rain right across northeastern Ontario. So, Tony, that is the day that you'll have to wait for, but we've got some sunshine and some nice temperatures. I've got a great forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes, so stick around for the 5-day weather and more, Tony, and you'll get your rain. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. I'm praying for it. City Council in North Bay approved to amend its accountability and transparency bylaw to include quarterly and annual reports of council members' expenses. This follows the ongoing controversy involving Mayor Peter Chirico and his expenses. CTV's Eric Tashner has the latest from City Hall.
Good evening. As the City Council meeting began, a handful of protesters were picketing outside, calling on Mayor Peter Chirico to step aside.
At this stage of the game, to save the city the embarrassment.
Inside, more frustrated members of the public.
The next appropriate course of action, the majority of council to vote on an independent auditor's report based on what happened, because we don't have the full picture.
Council voted to amend its accountability and transparency bylaw to include transaction details of council members' expenses dating back to the beginning of the term posted to the city's website. The report will include details including payee, date paid, amount, and a general description of the nature of the expense as it relates to city business.
You start to see where your tax dollar is being spent and how it's being spent, and maybe it raises questions of how valuable was that conference or how valuable is that purchase.
This all stems from the $16,000 in personal expenses Chirico put on his city-issued credit card in 2023 and 2024, which were approved by CAO John Severino. The scandal has made national headlines and put North Bay on the map, but not in a good way.
Attracting that kind of attention, I think that certainly has an effect on the city's reputation.
The OPP, the Inspector General of Policing, and Integrity Commissioner Guy Giorno are all conducting separate investigations into Chirico's expenses. The Inspector General is also directing Chirico not to perform his duties as a member of the city's Police Services Board. And Chirico is no longer on the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation Board. Council is still waiting to hear back from Giorno.
Hopefully some clarity on what transpired and give us some direction on how to move forward.
An in-camera motion about an identifiable individual was pushed by Councillor Sarah Inch to be brought into the public's eye, but was rejected by other councillors. For many in attendance, that's not enough.
The city has to change.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Copper thefts in the Temagami and Martin River areas are being blamed for cell phone outages. OPP reporting today they received reports of telecom fiber damage resulting in major disruptions to cell service. They increased their presence in the communities affected today as the outage was impacting 911 service for customers. Police are still investigating the theft. For service updates, you need to contact your service provider. A case of West Nile virus has been confirmed in a bird in Wawa. Algoma Public Health says the risk of being infected is low, but with this announcement, it's reminding the public to take precautions when outdoors. West Nile virus spreads from infected mosquitoes. Public Health says to wear light-colored clothing, use insect repellent, and keep bare skin covered as much as possible, especially at dawn and dusk. The city of Sault Ste. Marie has closed the Bellevue Park kayak and canoe launch after it was discovered the dock was missing. The city said in a statement today the launch was discovered missing Sunday morning. The special boat launch was installed in 2021 to replace this well-used amenity. Could cost the city as much as $20,000. There is no information on how it went missing, and officials are asking the public for their assistance in locating it. Well, it's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. Right now, though, let's check out this live webcam from City Hall in Timmins. It's 21 degrees. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Do you love your local businesses?
Watch CTV News as we spotlight the incredible people behind your favorite shops.
This week, we visit the amazing people at Jen's Closet, where they buy and sell used clothing.
Shop local and show your love.
Wow, that was a lot of fun hanging out at Jen's Closet today. And Eileen and Jen, thank you for the great hospitality. Check it out. Amazing place. Forecast radar. Yes, we do have some precipitation. Tony is yearning for some rain. Well, we've got it by Saturday. Have a look and see what our forecast radar brings to northeastern Ontario. Should be nice tomorrow and for the most part on Friday. Then we've got some precipitation coming in by late Friday afternoon, and we'll keep a close eye on that. Sudbury Nickel Belt. Here we go. 5-day forecast. Sunshine for a couple of days, 22, 27. Chance of showers Saturday, 26. Then it cools off. Sunday, sun and cloud. More of the same Monday, 19 and 21. Those are nice temperatures. Meanwhile, in the Sioux and Algoma, 23, some sun and cloud. Friday, some sunshine, 28. Dropping down to 22 with rain on Saturday. Sunday, 20 and more of the same, sun and cloud Monday. So the Sioux, also some great temperatures and weather all coming up. That trend continues. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Sunshine tomorrow at 20, 26. Not too bad for Friday. Sun and cloud there. Chance of showers on Saturday. Then 16 on Sunday. Some cloud cover. Monday, sun and cloud at 19. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Sunny skies for a couple of days. What a great way to kick off the weekend. 21, 26. Chance of showers Saturday. Some cloud cover Sunday. 17 and 21 on Monday. Overnight lows, by the way. 4 on Sunday and only 7 on Monday. It's coming. North Bay, West Nipissing. Mainly sunny tomorrow, 22, 28 on Friday, sunshine. Saturday, we've got some sunny breaks and the chance of showers and a high of 30. Dropping down to 17 on Sunday with cloudy conditions and some sun and cloud come Monday at 21. So, Tony, looks like Saturday is the day for the rainfall, but otherwise some nice temperatures and loads of sunshine. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. A landmark in the city of Timmins is getting a reboot. A water fountain that's around 50 years old and hasn't worked in recent decades is going to flow again. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
Scaffolding is one of MSN Contracting's core services, and now that it's the proud owner of this 50-year-old tower and fountain, Mark Norcom has decided to make it pretty again.
So we start off by getting a pump from across the river, which was donated by Gorge Rental. We just pumped some water into the tower to see what would happen, and water came out the top. So we said, okay, that's step one. Then we got people honking, going by, and we're like, oh my God, wow. So then we decided, okay, well, let's refurbish this thing.
Norcom says his company is committed to seeing this project completed, as long as there are no issues or delays with any required permitting.
Yeah, most definitely it's going to be a fountain again. It may not look identical to what was there, but definitely I promise it's going to be a beautiful fountain for the city of Timmins. And so we hope that everybody can appreciate what's going on, what's happening here for our community.
The structure is located on the banks of the Matagami River in a high-traffic area along Riverside Drive. Norcom says the pinnacle was a safety concern and had to be removed. When the fountain's flowing again, river water will cycle through it and back into the river. Norcom says testing the fountain was a spur-of-the-moment idea and feedback has been encouraging, and he would welcome support from other businesses and organizations to make this a community project. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Air Canada says it will start canceling flights tomorrow to allow for an orderly shutdown of operations as it faces a potential strike by flight attendants. All flights by Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge will be grounded by the weekend. Customers whose flights are canceled can get a full refund. The decision follows a 72-hour strike notice from the union representing 10,000 flight attendants. In response, Air Canada issued a lockout notice for early Saturday morning. The airline said yesterday it reached an impasse in talks after the union declined to enter binding arbitration. The key issues are wages, work rules, and unpaid hours.
Our members are still going to work. Our members are still there greeting customers, still doing the unpaid portions at the beginning, and still attempting to get people to their destination as long as the planes are flying. There's nothing at this time that we've said, okay, stop doing. So it should be business as usual from the employee standpoint.
Air Canada Express is the only Air Canada option for travelers leaving Northern Ontario airports. But those employees are with a different union and not part of the work action with the main airline or Rouge. Greater Sudbury Airport explained in an email to CTV passengers with connecting flights could see cancellations, saying while flights departing from the Greater Sudbury Airport are served by Air Canada Express, operated by Jazz Aviation, and may not be directly impacted by the labor dispute, passengers with downline connections onward could be impacted and should continue to refer to Air Canada for the most current information. On patrol, coming up on CTV News at 5, we head to North Bay in a program that gives young people a chance to learn from police. A study was released that shows the ideal nurse-to-patient ratio is 1 to 4. However, there is currently no legislation in place to protect that ratio here in Ontario. CTV's Madison Merrier has more.
A study was conducted by Dr. James T. Brophy and Dr. Margaret M. Keith, funded by the Ontario Council of the Hospital Unions Canada Union of Public Employees. The research shows that hospital staff shortages have led to an increase in workloads, poorer patient outcomes, and loss of public confidence.
This is the 5th report we've done in about 8 years, Dr. Margaret Keith and I. And we were looking at the working conditions of healthcare workers. We started off looking at violence in the workplace, which has become more and more known publicly that it was, that healthcare was one of the most dangerous workplaces in the country.
According to NANO's research in 2023, 43.6% of 750 healthcare workers said that violence had increased since the beginning of the pandemic.
When it comes to nursing, there's that horrible line of it's a part of the job, and that is completely false. It is not a part of the job. At no point should any nurse feel demoralized, physically hurt, emotionally hurt.
Retention is a big problem. Attrition is a problem. People in their 40s are saying, I can't wait to retire. If I can get out earlier, I'm going to. And then at the same time, there's this, government report that we're short by 2027, 33,000 nurses. So there's this incredible problem.
Fleming says she can't even be upset with the frustration patients feel when they are admitted to hospitals, as they are also feeling the impacts of staffing shortages.
So hearing it come from the BC that it is now in the legislation is going to work better for us in the long run. When we hear about Nova Scotia, I am thrilled to hear that they have achieved that language in their collective bargaining.
Nurses are really good at asking things for their patients, at advocating for their patients. They're very good. Very seldom do they ask for things for themselves. They are speaking up right now.
Fleming said that many nurses care for more than 4 patients, and the ideal ratio is 1 to 4. According to the report, any more than 4 could be detrimental to patients.
The devastating part of it is I need to prioritize at that moment who I'm going to care for. And that is where the moral injury and where we're starting to lose our moral compass, because we're left and faced with prioritizing somebody else's life.
Nurse-to-patient ratios save lives. They reduce, medical errors, the length of stay, readmissions. They reduce mortality.
Gélinas has put forward a proposal to legislate that 1 to 4 ratio. This report adds pressure to the government to respond, and Jelena's hope the public will too.
Don't hesitate to speak up. Say that you support nurses, that you support this. The more people speak up, the faster we will win.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
This summer, 2 students are joining North Bay police officers on downtown patrol or at community events. Naomi and Morgan are 2 youth in policing initiative students shadowing officers. They are assisting with community engagement by promoting the Lock It or Lose It campaign. The Yippee program is in collaboration with the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services. Since 2009, the program offers youth aged 15 to 18 meaningful work experience within the police environment while empowering them to become leaders.
In grade 11, I took a dual credit at Canadore, the Police Foundations, and I really loved it. I knew that I wanted to do a service.
We've just been helping out downtown, going on patrols. It's been really fun. It's great seeing all the people who are appreciative over the police service.
Exposure to what your passion may be really can solidify whether it's something that you wish to do for a career or not. I know Naomi is focused on a career in social work, and Morgan has aspirations to be a police officer one day.
And both students are organizing a bike rodeo at the end of summer to teach students basic bicycle safety before school starts up again.
We are not getting old!
Last week's Ontario Summer Games 55 Plus were a huge success, according to the City of Greater Sudbury. More than 1,000 people came to the city to participate or cheer on athletes competing in this year's games. The city says the feedback from visitors was positive, and officials estimate the city brought in $1.2 million in economic benefit. It's not for the faint of heart. When we return, we'll introduce you to an author who's written a graphic novel. You're watching First at 5. The book is called Siege on Dome 17, and it's the first book for an Englehart man. To tell us more, Nick Young now joins us from Englehart. Hi there, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. First of all, tell us about the book. What is it all about?
So basically, it's a post-apocalyptic novel about people getting attacked by giant insects. It's kind of like a 1950s sort of atomic monster movie mixed with sort of the sentimentalities of the books of the 1980s, the pulp books.
And I read somewhere, tell me if it's true, when you buy your book, you also get a vomit bag?
Yeah, that's true. You get a paper vomit bag, same as you get on an airplane. Even gives you instructions on the back of how to do it.
Is this book that graphic that will make you throw up?
Well, I kind of think that Canadian literature is all too polite these days, so what I tried to do is go for like a really grab you by the throat, gory novel, and a lot of people are really disgusted by insects as well, so that's a factor.
How did you get started in writing?
I've been writing since I was about 11 or 12 years old, and just been kind of doing it ever since. Usually I would get in trouble in school for doing projects that were going too far into the horror side of things.
Okay, did you have any idols or inspirations along the way? Was there a book writer or a film director that you really liked?
Yeah, as for authors, I really like Robert McCammon, Stephen King, Dean Koontz, the big guys. But one that always struck me was Jack Ketchum. He's out of Maine. He does very realistic horror novels. He passed away a few years ago, but I really liked his work. And as for directors, I've always been a big fan of films, and I love John Carpenter's work.
Right. Who can forget, Halloween in the late 70s. What was the publishing process like for you?
So I kind of had to find a publisher, and when I started looking into it, I realized it would be better to do it locally. And it just so happens that down the road in Cobalt, we have a local publisher called White Mountain Publications. The older lady that runs it, Deborah, I had to talk her into it a little bit because she wasn't sure about the subject matter of the book, but she felt the writing was strong and she liked the gimmick I had to sell it. So we decided to go in on it, and it just kind of was like a commission for her in a way. But now I'm kind of on my own as far as distributing the book.
What are people saying about your book? Do they love it? Do they hate it?
Yeah, I've got 2 reviews so far, like from other authors. They really were surprised that it was my first novel, and so those reviews were really positive. And then ones I've gotten from family and friends have been that, oh, we loved it, but it was gross, kind of thing, which that's fun. I honestly would love bad feedback as well. If someone told me, oh, your book is disgusting or it disturbed me horribly, I think they would get a kick out of that as well.
Nick, thanks so much for your time and continued success.
Thank you.
Nick Young was our guest, and to see more of our author series and our Northern Book Club, head to CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. Tomorrow is History Day in Kagawong. The community of Kagawong has a rich history and beautiful historic landmarks like the Old Mill. The community will be hosting activities at the Kagawong Park Center, where displays of old home movies and photographs dating back 100 years will be set up. There will also be a panel discussion with local historians at 3:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. The event is free, but donations are welcome. A longtime contributor to Community Close-Up, Victor Vieri of Sudbury, is back. He sent us some photographs. They are of the full moon last week. It's so great to hear from you once again, Victor. We're going to head east of North Bay to the community of Mattawa. Bev Bell sent us this photograph of her cat, Harry Richard, enjoying the beach. Thanks so much, Bev. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. Finally for us tonight, a northerner recently found an unexpected visitor in his backyard. Alain Lacoste of North Bay sent us this video where this deer found itself in a peculiar predicament. Lacoste says the curious fawn discovered the hard way that while the grass may be greener, the fences are definitely higher. Not to worry though, the deer did escape once Alain opened the gate for him. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.